The idea of launching Heritage Church in Imlay City came from the fact that we had so many people driving from so far away. And instead, we realized it would be better to put a church right where they live, and more of their friends and family would be able to join them.
We were just excited about growth and about, what we were doing and what was happening and what the Holy Spirit was doing in Heritage Church. As we were looking at it and thinking about it and dreaming about it, a building became available. And it was actually a movie theater. We really like movie theaters. That's what our Sterling Heights campus is in.
Actually, when I was contacted by the owner of the Imlay City Theater, it's really cool that I would actually be the one that helped facilitate the sale and lease back to Heritage Church and actually be at the very first service back in 2013.
We had about 100 and some odd people that stepped up and said, we'll make it happen. We'll make the sacrifice. We'll do the work. And they gave money and they gave their time. Tim and Jackie were in the middle of building a house when we asked them, hey, would you stop that and go up to Imlay City? And after praying, they were willing to make that sacrifice to make it happen.
Jeff and Chad called me in one day and said, hey, we would love for you to be part of the launch team. And I went home, prayed about it with my wife, and so I was able to go in the next day and let them know that, yeah, we'll be a part of this.
And then we had to ask some of our top shelf, very best volunteers to also leave our Sterling Heights campus and go to Imlay City, and people like Aaron and Michelle Ellis.
We've made so many more friends up here, and not just the community, but through our schools and all that too. And to see their faces come to church, which is awesome.
I liked it right from the start. We were reading at Lutheran High North, and I fit in right away, but Randy, not so much.
It wasn't the greatest fit for me. At least it didn't appear to be until I made a new friend. I was asked to volunteer.
But I said, Randy, need a friend? Be a friend. And I walked away. He called, and he met a friend. He started working. He started working out the theater and met a friend.
Prior to us moving in, my son cut the theater sign down, and people drove by on Van Dyke, and they were yelling out, we don't need another church in this area.
We leveled out the floors. It's cool seeing the skid steers going through, busting up the concrete, bringing in sand.
There was a dedicated group of volunteers that were just here all the time, putting walls up, putting things together, putting on events to really change the perception of how the city saw us.
Labor, sweat, and work to be able to get Imlay City up and going. We had lots of challenges.
The city chose not to give us our certificate of occupancy. And so we're sitting here a week out from our launch date. And so we end up having to come up with some creative solutions and decide to put a tent up in the parking lots, and had hundreds of people show up for our grand opening. Had a number of people that accepted Christ that day, who then later on got baptized at the Imlay City campus.
For the first couple of years, we actually had videos, except, Jeff was always 6'8" in those videos, but we realized that something was missing. And so we decided to change strategies. And that was when Pastor Tom Blount came on the scene.
When I was called by Jeff Forrester, I really was going to retire out of the ministry, but after praying about it, it was really a great decision that we made to come back to Heritage Church, become the campus pastor, and just kind of like the front and the face, because we got an incredible team here that we get to serve together with.
It's really cool being out in the community and talking with people, and they remember this place as the old movie theater, which is so cool because, we're sitting in this auditorium that people used to be eating popcorn and watching movies, but now we get to minister to people and serve this community in such an amazing way.
When you walk in, it feels warm, it feels inviting, and it feels a place where community happens.
I don't know how you duplicate baptizing some 300 people in 10 years. Some churches don't do that in their lifetime.
You ask anybody in the community if they've heard of Heritage, and everybody knows about us because of the outreaches we do at the fairgrounds, the car show we did here, the hunting stuff. I think it's made a big impact in the area, and you can see that when you talk to people around.
Back in April of 21, I made a big career change and moved back to Imlay City. I grew up here and wanted to do some church sampling, and Heritage was, maybe the hip church in town, so we decided to try it out and loved it first time we were here. I realized I needed something more, and I found it in Jesus at Heritage.
And for me, after watching God work through Mason and the drastic change that he had, I couldn't help but to want that for me, to have that for my family, my daughters. We're thankful for the people who God put it on their hearts to start this campus. because now our family has a home here at Heritage in Imlay City.
To think that none of this would even be here, none of this would even be possible without the sacrifice and everything that all the people at Sterling Heights did years ago.
When I think about all the huge events that we've done over the years, I've just become so thankful for the sacrifice of that small group of people that planted this campus here so many years ago.
I'm amazed at all the tremendous events that we've had right here in our local community. And I got to be honest with you, it would have never happened without the people at Sterling Heights believing that we needed something in Imlay City to reach people with the gospel and teach them and train them to serve them.
That's why I'm excited to see what comes next, right? And as we look ahead at other launches, but it's always been about the people, the community.